to my channel. Today I have a monthly April message for all of the Virgos out in the collective. Please note this is going to be a general reading, so it is not going to resonate with every single Virgo out in the collective. I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So without further ado, Virgo, let's go ahead and dive right into your monthly message. So Virgo, we are starting out with the Fates. I absolutely love this. Next, we have Dawn, New Beginnings, and Enlightenment. Look from the highest perspective and see the divine in everyone. Okay, so right off the bat, Virgo, we are starting off with the Fates. Now, the Fates truly represents our fate, our destiny, our karma. It's about accepting things it's really about accepting things that you cannot change, right? Like, so there are certain things that you absolutely cannot change. And it's about knowing what those things are. So it's about recognizing that our own fate and our own destiny. So this reminds me a lot of the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Wheel of Fortune is constantly moving. And you can't wield it. You can't change it or manipulate it to go in the direction that you want it to go. You simply just have to accept what is. Now, I do want to point out here that with Dawn and New Beginnings, it's really about a new beginning. I feel here, Virgo, that things might be feeling a little bit awkward for you. It might feel like, you know what this reminds me of a lot, kind of like what I'm picking up, is that it kind of feels like you literally just stepped out of the old world and now you're into like a new world, right? A new beginning. It's like a brand new slate. Everything's, it feels a little bit different to you, but know that this is you like rising up into a newer version of yourself. And you're having to really see things from a much broader perspective. It's almost like you being so interconnected with your inner observer, your inner oracle, and sort of seeing things as they are and piecing them together. One thing I see that sort of stands out here with this card, the Fates, is how these stars and how it looks like she's aligning the stars, right? And so everything has to come into alignment in order for it to be what it is, right? So we can't, change it, or we just have to accept what is and recognize that everything that occurs when it occurs is basically part of the process, right? It's about us sort of understanding things from a higher perspective. It's about really recognizing our own, it's like leveling up. Like, that's the best way that I can describe it. It's about leveling up. You know, one thing that this Enlightenment card really brings to our attention is the eagle, right? So we all, the eagle eye, the inner intuition, the inner guidance, the inner observer. It prompts you to sort of soar high like the eagle, to see everything from the highest perspective and be ready to take action in a moment's notice, right? It also reminds you that you're the master and that you have to take full responsibility for your life and everything that you attract to it. And I feel that that's what feels so different to you right now, Virgo, because this isn't something you've ever experienced before. And it's almost like you're feeling like you're really needing to sort of step into that higher version of yourself a lot more. And it's almost like you're not coming out of that higher version at all. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm picking up. I can tell you from my own perspective, since I am a Virgo sun, that that's definitely how it's been feeling a lot lately. Especially for me, because there are some things that have been going on in my life and my family that have really been pushing me to really come to terms with my own emotions, like the emotions of how I feel when rage takes over or when anger takes over, when someone hurts someone that I love. And I have to really step into that higher perspective and really see things for what they are and recognize that if I can see it through the eyes of love, that it looks a little bit different, right? So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here, Virgo. So I want to point out that because you are in this new beginning, it feels fresh, it feels brand new, and it's sort of like there's no other way for me to say this other than you have leveled up to a level that is far beyond what you might have expected. Okay. I can tell you that a lot of times it might be very scary, very intimidating, because you're experiencing things at a much faster rate than normal. And so this is probably the reason why it feels so brand new or so sudden. I guess that would be the right word. Okay, so here we have, let's go through these cards one by one here, Virgo. So we have the Empress, the Four of Wands, the King of Wands in reversed with the World card, the Three of Cups, and the Hangman. So right off the bat, Virgo, the Empress is about creation, right? And the Four of Wands is about going with the flow, and it's about being in a sense of stability and security and celebration, celebrating what you've accomplished, okay? The one thing I can tell you about the Empress is that the Empress truly represents abundance. It represents generosity. It represents creation, and it represents creativity. It's about attainment. It's about the things that you have attained in this world and in your experiences. And one of the greatest wisdom things that you can get from the Empress is that life is abundant. Life is prosperous. There is so much available to us and to you. And it's up to you to embrace that, to take that, and to celebrate that. And you celebrate that by all of the experiences that you have in your day-to-day. I think a lot of times we tend to forget that everything is a part of our experience, even the things that we are uncomfortable with, right? The Four of Wands really speaks about freedom, creativity, and your own happiness. The one thing I often see with the Four of Wands is building something that is stable and secure. It's like a solid foundation. And I feel, Virgo, that a lot of you have really wanted a sense of freedom that feels stable and that feels secure to you. And I really feel that you've achieved that. You're now at that. You're at that stage. And this is why it feels so brand new for you, Virgo. Freedom is vast. Freedom feels very expansive. There's no borders. There's no boundaries. There's nothing. It's just this vast amount of space. And this is why it feels so different, okay? Now, I want to point out here that with the King of Wands, now the King of Wands being in the reversed position, the King of Wands is really about the inspiration and the motivation. It's really about the creativity and how we communicate and the insight that we have. But when we have a King of Wands in the reversed position, it indicates a time of restriction. So I want you to really ask yourself here, Virgo, what do you feel that you currently are restricting yourself from experiencing, right? Because sometimes when the King of Wands is in reverse, it could be someone that's very opinionated, very narrow-minded. And I don't want to say that that you're being very narrow-minded, that you're wanting people to understand, and maybe you're not communicating effectively with the people in your life, and maybe this is the reason why you're coming off this way. But I want to point out that maybe you're not used to all of the freedom, right? And the message here with the King of Wands is be a free spirit. So in this new beginning that you are embarking upon here, Virgo, you're needing to embrace this freedom and allow yourself to be authentically you, even if it comes across as rude or disrespectful. You have to honor who you are here. Now we have the World and the Three of Cups, okay? Now, the World is about a completion. And I feel that you have reached that pinnacle. You have ultimately reached a completion of a cycle because you're in an entire new beginning. And this completion is ultimately revealing to you success. It's revealing to you how you have overcome all of the challenges and all of the obstacles. And it's really about you enjoying the success. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy the rewards that you come across or that actually present themselves to you. I also want to point out here with the Three of Cups is that I feel like you all are going to be really bringing in a lot more relationships that are very reciprocal, but are also a part of your soul tribe. The Three of Cups is really about celebrating with like-minded individuals and feeling loved, nurtured, and secured. And I feel that that ultimately is important because I feel, Virgo, that a lot of times you don't really celebrate your own success. And the Three of Cups is really about celebrating that, celebrating the abundance, celebrating the love, celebrating family and friendships. And I feel that this is what you're ultimately going to be experiencing, right? And I feel this is what you've been asking for, but I don't really think you expected it to look this way. If that's kind of, it's like you were expecting it to look differently, but this is how it actually looks. And you're like, what is this? It's why it feels so different. So it's different than what you expected. Now with the Hanged Man, okay, the Hanged Man is about surrender. It's about waiting, and it's about sacrificing, and it's also about enlightenment. Now, the Hanged Man puts himself in that upside down position on purpose because he's wanting to see things from a different perspective. It's really about a transitional period that we go through. And I feel that right now you are in this transitional period. I feel that what you have sacrificed has actually led you to this transition period because you're rising up to a newer version of yourself that is ultimately experiencing life in a completely different way. This is a good thing, though. This isn't a bad thing. So let's dive a little bit deeper here, Virgo, because this is pretty deep, pretty intense. I'm not going to lie. This is pretty deep and pretty intense, even for me. You know, one thing about the Hangman is that when we often, we feel like we sacrifice parts of ourselves, we feel like it's like sometimes we only see the sacrifice, but we don't actually see anything else outside of that. We don't see the bigger picture. We don't see the higher perspective of that, right? And I feel that this is what that's bringing into your awareness. This is what it's truly bringing to the surface. You seeing things from a different perspective, especially with this Enlightenment card, right? Because you're looking at things from a higher perspective. almost like I said earlier, you know, I have kind of felt like I've had to put myself into a higher perspective state. And I feel like I haven't been coming down from that higher perspective state. So it's almost like I'm staying there because I'm needing to get used to that state. So now we have the King of Pentacles, the Lover's card, the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Seven of Wands with the Devil card, and then I drew a clarifier because I don't like to end with the Devil card, the Page of Cups. So here's what I'm seeing here for you, Virgo. The King of Pentacles is very resourceful. The King of Pentacles has all of the wisdom, all of the knowledge that he needs, and he shares all of that. And I really feel that this is about you embarking on this new path that is being created for you by the fates, because it's a part of your destiny, right? This new path is ultimately leading you towards success. It's leading you towards this place of feeling heard, of feeling seen, and of feeling understood. The King of Pentacles is basically, he deals primarily with the material, right? With the property, with money, all of those things. But the one thing about the King of Pentacles is that it's about making the most of what you have, making the most of your assets. And I feel that this is what you're ultimately needing to understand. Now, the Lover's card is really about, it could be about love and relationships. And again, because you have this Three of Cups, I really feel like you're bringing in soul family, right? But it's about soulfulness. And I think the one thing that you must learn from the Lover's card, it's about following the wisdom of your heart, because that is where you build solid foundations. The wisdom of your heart truly leads you to what your life entails. Okay. Now, the Page of Materials is really about being practical, right? But also holding a vision for the things that you ultimately desire. The Ace of Wands is about a new beginning, new inspirations, new ideas, new desires that you ultimately will have at your disposal to be able to create that, or to bring that into your life. And when you stand in that higher perspective, you'll be able to gain all of that, you know, those ideas and those inspirations. The Seven of Wands here is really about standing in your power. Ultimately with this card, it's really about not allowing your light to be seen. One of the hardest things with the Seven of Wands is that we often don't stand in our power. We often try to sort of hide ourselves, right? Whatever challenges sort of come up, we sort of allow those challenges to defeat us. And you might have felt very defeated or challenged when it came to relationships, but things are going to be changing for you now here, Virgo. So it's really about, you know, not being afraid to fight for what you want, being authentically you, right? It's about recognizing that you deserve all of the things that you want and that you desire. So don't be afraid to stand up for it, and don't be afraid to fight for it, and don't let anyone take that away from you. Now, you're ending here with the Devil card. With the Hangman, I feel that this period is really about a waiting period for you, because I feel that there are still some little bits of I want to say shadow aspects that you're ultimately needing to let go of. Okay. And I feel that with the Devil card being here in this position, it's really about facing the temptations, right? You can choose to continue to be enslaved by sabotaging behaviors or thoughts, or you can choose to sort of detach from them. So it's about detaching from the things that you are ultimately attached to. With the Page of Cups here, it's really about allowing yourself to see the vision and holding it deep within yourself so that you detach from the things that are keeping you stuck. The one thing about the Page of Cups is that he holds the cup, and in his cup is his vision, his dream of what he's desiring and envisioning. And if you can continue to hold that vision, but be practical and not sort of hide from the things that are keeping you attached or keeping you stuck, then you'll be able to create that vision. You'll be able to envision that and have that vision come be a part of your reality here. So Virgo, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.